We are here today because Canadians are paying the highest cell phone bills in the entire planet. We had a government that only in 2020 said they were going to reduce cell phone bills by 25%. We had a prime minister in the House of Commons who said he did exactly that. The prices went down 25%. Mr. Hartling, are your prices down 25%? Yes or no?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Prices are falling in Canada, as Statistics Canada reports, and the industry
So, Mr. Hartling, I only have so much time. Are your prices down 25%?
Prices are down actually 50% over the last 5 years and 16% in the last 12 months.
So thank you, Mr. Hartling. So you're saying your prices are down 25%. We've had a lot of statistics bandied around this committee and to the Canadian public. But we're going to look at one statistic today, and that's monthly average revenue per account. It's the ARPU. In layman's terms, to those listening at home, that means the average revenue taken in and how many accounts that each of these companies have. And so that basically is the best statistic that we can have for Canadians to show exactly how much revenue is coming in and how much that revenue is paying per customer. In other words, this is exactly what is coming in for Canadians, how much they're paying these companies. And there's public companies so we can get that. So when it comes to looking at 2022 versus 2023, Rogers had an average revenue per account of $57.89, and in 2023, $57.86, a decrease of only 3 cents. Bell in 2022 was $58.92, in 2023, $59.08. TELUS in 2022 was $58.10, and in 2023, $58.78. A couple observations from this. One, that all three of these companies seem to be very similar, within $2 or $3 of each other. Number two, none of these average revenue per customer have gone down except for Rogers at 3 cents. So, Mr. Hartling, how do you account for these numbers of average revenue per user with your just statement that you've dropped cell phone bills by more than that?
Thank you for the question, and let me begin by making an observation. When you use the term average revenue per user, or ARPU, it is not the same as the monthly service fee that the customer pays. And so I think to clarify, let's look at what's in ARPU. So the way ARPU is calculated is it's all wireless revenues over all wireless subscribers. Now, what's included in wireless revenues? The monthly service fee is one portion. For example, if you're paying $50 a month, that's part of ARPU. But on top of that, we include in ARPU things like device protection insurance. So suppose that you decide that your cell phone is expensive, you're afraid you're going to lose it or drop it and break it, so you buy an insurance policy, and that's included.
So,
in
Mr.
ARPU.
Hartling, I'm sorry to interrupt because I know you're adding this in. Are these charges being paid for by the consumer, what you're adding? So insurance, anything else? Are these revenues, are these being paid by Canadians, yes or no?
Some are being paid by consumers, some are being paid by businesses. If you let me complete, I could tell you a few more examples of ARPU that are being paid by businesses. So, for example, Tesla pays us to access our network.
Mr. Hartling, I'm sorry to interrupt you, because by customer, you're trying to tell me that a business is not a customer. A business is a customer. So I'm taking it that what you're trying to say is these are add-ons, not what the Prime Minister meant when he was saying he was to decrease cell phones. But that's what we're trying to understand here. Cell phone bills are what consumers pay, and if it's an add-on or if it's another charge or some of the $60 activation fees or what have you, these are revenues you're coming in. So when consumers are paying bills, and a lot of Canadians are confused about what they're paying month to month on bills, and I will also note this does not include tax, which is added onto these bills. These customers are paying these bills, no matter how you break it up per individual. That's how this stat is broken out. Yes or no?
As I said, it's the total amount of revenue. So when we look at the trend in terms of pricing in Canada, we're looking at the monthly service fee. Those are the things that the customer pays. The customer may choose to add on additional services, but that's a customer choice. So we're not talking about additional services on customer choice. We're talking about the average monthly service fee.
Thank you, sir. And customers do have a choice, but they also sometimes are locked into plans in 2 years. And we can say Canadians are just paying bills, And at the end of the day, we're looking at bills for Canadians. One question I do have for you, in that ARPU, does it include all revenue from Fido, Chatter, and CityPhone?
Yes, it does.
So just to be clear to consumers, these are sub-brands of Rogers, and a lot of people who have Fido, Chatter, or CityPhone may not know they have that. Sir, we're here because you made an announcement to raise fees up to $9 for some accounts. When we talk about the increase of fees, and Canadians are already paying the highest in the world. We look at ARPU, Canadians for ARPU are still paying almost twice what Australians are paying, a country that has a similar geography, less people. Do you think we have enough competition in Canada, yes or no?
Thank you for the question. I would say that let's start by talking about your claim that Canadians are paying the highest prices in the world. We know that there are facts on the table that show that Canadian prices are lower than U.S. prices. They're lower than Australian prices. So it's not true that Canadians pay the highest prices in the world.
Sir, that is not. We dispute your claims, and if you'd like to submit those facts that you think that Americans are paying more than Canadians, please submit that. But we do not have that data.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. That's all the time we had. I'll just let Mr. Hartling finish his train of thought.
Mr. Chair, we'd be happy to provide additional information with respect to price comparisons between our prices and prices in the United States, and we'll follow up with the clerk.
Mr. Chair, I would move to adjourn.
Okay, this is a.
Mr. Turnbull.
Yes.
Mr. Sorbera. Yes. Mr. Van Bynen.
Yes.
Mr. Genereux. Mr. Perkins.
I oppose this attempt to shut the committee down.
Mr. Viss.
Opposed.
Mr. Williams.
I oppose. We had one more round left. This is ridiculous.
Mr. Garon.
Je m'oppose également vigoureusement.
I vigorously oppose.
Viss.
Yes.